Welcome, travelers. We're here today to talk about the DAS, or the Disability Access Service, and Rise of the Resistance. Now, with the new virtual queue system opening up at Disney World, there's a lot of misinformation going on around how a DAS works and the Rise of the Resistance ride. So we've ridden the ride using our DAS, and we're here today to tell you about how you can use your DAS and get on the Rise of the Resistance ride using the virtual queue system.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart, and I can promise Santa.
So step one to get on Rise of the Resistance is to join a boarding group. What a boarding group is, it's a virtual queue. And by that it means instead of waiting in a regular queue like you do for every other Disney ride, you're joining a virtual queue that allows you to get in line without having to stand anywhere specifically. It also opens up the opportunity that you spend more money at Hollywood Studios, as well as get to see some of the other rides while you're waiting for the Rise of the Resistance. Now, this is a good thing in the fact that you don't have to stand in the line, but at the same time, they only open up in the morning. So you need to make sure that you're there before park opening if you want to join a boarding party. So unlike with the traditional DAS Pass where you go to a ride and get a return time, when you're using the boarding group system, you're really just waiting for your number to be called and there's no time associated with that. Now, this video is not meant for tips about how to get in a boarding group, but it is important to know that if you stay at a Disney hotel, right now they're having extra magic hours almost every day at Hollywood Studios, which gives them a significant advantage over anybody coming into the park and getting a boarding group. If you are not able to stay at a Disney hotel, one of the things you really need to do is get there early. Boarding passes are pretty much gone, sometimes by 7:20, sometimes by 7:40, sometimes as late as 9 o'clock, but they're always gone early morning. So you want to make sure that you are there when the park opens and make sure that you're there earlier so that in case they open the park early, you'll be able to get a boarding pass. One of the things you need to understand about the boarding party is all of the members of your party have to be in the park before you can sign up for a boarding party. That means that every person in your party has to have scanned their Magic Band or their tickets and actually entered the park. So if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you're already in the park when they open up the boarding parties, whatever time they choose to do it that day. But if you are not staying at a Disney hotel, you need to make sure that you and your entire group get in the park as quickly as possible so you can use the app to join a boarding party. Another quick tip about the boarding party is to make sure that you have your app set up prior to reaching the park that day. You're going to want to have everything set up because that's how the boarding pass works. That's how you log into the boarding pass, and that's also how you keep track of the boarding pass. So if you get into the park and don't have it set up, that means you're going to have to set up your app prior to being able to join a boarding party. So make sure that you have your app set up prior to getting to the park that day. Once you get inside the park, you want to make sure that you have the app open the entire time and keep refreshing it so that you have an opportunity to get into the lowest boarding group possible. Note that some people listen for the speakers around them to tell them that the boarding group is open by the Disney Pass, but what we've found is that many times the virtual queue actually opens at least 3 to 5 minutes before they announce it over the loudspeakers. So you want to make sure that you're in some place where you can constantly be checking to hopefully get on that lowest boarding group possible. Alright, now once you're in the park, now you have your boarding group, the next step is really just waiting. You have an opportunity to ride other rides and do some other things at Hollywood Studios, but to get on Rise of the Resistance, you're just going to be waiting right now. When you get a boarding group, there's no time associated with that boarding group, so that means that you are just waiting for that number to be called. Now what you'll see, in some days they're getting through over 100 by lunchtime, and other days they don't get to group 50 until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's no predefined definition of when they're going to get to your boarding group. Though, as the ride has been open longer and longer, it seems like they're getting through more boarding groups in the morning. So once your boarding group actually gets called, it's time to go ride that ride. It's time for that excitement of what Rise of the Resistance is. When you first get to the ride, you'll see there's a checkpoint with a bunch of people checking in to making sure that you're in the right boarding group and that your boarding group has been called. Once you get past those people, you want to go to the person that is closest to the Fast Pass line on the ride. And that's going to be the farthest person from where you are, or if you're looking at the ride queue, the physical queue, you're going to go to the farthest right. And there's typically a few people standing there helping people with rider switch and things like that, typical to any other DAS return time that you're going to get. You're just going to want to approach one of those people, and when you approach them, just say that I have a DAS. The only thing they do, they don't give you return time. They just scan to make sure that you have a DAS, and then they let you use the FastPass line. So once you're checked in with your DAS, you're going to follow the FastPass line up to right before you have your introduction about the mission with Ray. You don't miss anything on the ride. Really what you're avoiding is just some prop areas and some armor areas. Nothing different than what you miss on Flight of Passage or even like the Frozen ride when it comes to using your DAS. So you're not missing anything in the story, but you might miss a couple things in the queue that are really cool to look at. When talking with other guests as well as cast members, what we found out is you only miss about 45 minutes to an hour worth of waiting time using the DAS in this program. So basically, if you don't use your DAS, you go back in your boarding party and you get in line, that's going to take you about 45 minutes to an hour longer to get on the ride. Whereas when we used the DAS to get on the ride, it only took us basically how long it took us to walk the FastPass line and get up there, which was maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So it was very quickly using our DAS, unlike having to wait in the regular line. So even though the DAS on Rise of the Resistance is there, it's not your traditional DAS, it still does help you save a little bit of time for those who are not able to wait in line and need to be able to ride the ride quickly so that they can enjoy the experience. Well, travelers, we hope this helps you clear through some of the mess that currently exists surrounding the DAS Pass and Rise of the Resistance. We hope that you get an opportunity to ride this amazing dark ride and enjoy the experience for everything it is. See you all on our next adventure. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on what's going on, and also to help those who have a DAS interested in learning about how to ride Rise of the Resistance. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm hoping this video helped clear some of that information up for you.